And we are live with another episode of BS Busters. This one's a little bit special because I call this the getting it off our chest, if you will. So we're just going to be getting, things off our chest. We have 5 topics to go over. The first one is upcoming games we feel are overrated in hype. But before we do that, let's have everyone introduce themselves. Go ahead. Well, the only person here. Go ahead, sir. Introduce yourself.
I'm the contrarian bastard. I'm not in the mood to a long introduction, so all I'm going to say is that I just like gaming. That's all.
All right. And it's me, Mr. Red Fox. You know who I am, owner, proprietor of BS Busters. You haven't seen me in a while, but I've been busy. I've been, I've had stuff to do. I've been losing it a little bit. So with that being said, guess it's time to get into it. So our first topic, as I said earlier, is overhyped games that have been announced that we feel are that people are like really hyped about, that we feel are overrated. So we can pick 1 or 2 or 3 games that have been announced that some people are really ecstatic for, that we feel are kind of overrated. So without much ado, you want to go first, Contrarian, or shall I?
No, you go first because I kind of like making up my mind because like there hasn't been that few. I've been so out of touch with gaming news these last days that I'm trying like to make mine. But so you go first.
All right. A game that people have been saying they're really looking forward to, and I'm like, I don't get it. This is just my own personal thing, is the sequel to Red Dead Redemption. It was supposed to be shown off. It was supposed to come out this year, and it's been pushed back to next year. And I'm like, I don't see what the appeal is. I mean, part of it is because I was one of those people who played the first Red Dead Redemption, and I felt it was just boring. Like getting from riding your horse from point A to point B was just a chore, and for me, and doing the missions was a chore. Like hunting down animals and skinning them was a chore. Like everything felt tedious in that game to me. And like everyone's like, man, that game was so great. I'm like, I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. So for there to be a sequel, I'm like, I would rather them make a sequel to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas or Bully than Red Dead Redemption 2. But that's just me.
Well, I've never been a huge fan of open world games, so like most of those sandbox games, they never compelled me to play it. Like the only sandbox game I played in a while was San Andreas,
I
and
mean, no, go ahead. Sorry.
and that was like when I was in high school, and I didn't like it that much, so I gotta stay away from the sandbox games. So, oh, and I don't like Elder Scrolls either. So, heck, I think the only open world game like I can say I like open world style RPG is like Xenoblade.
Fair enough.
So continue.
No, I can totally understand. I can totally see where you're coming from.
No,
Um,
I said like you can continue.
yeah, but for me, I just which is weird because I like Rockstar's other open world games. I like Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. I like Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I liked, to an extent, I liked Grand Theft Auto 4. I didn't like the main story, but I liked The Lost and the Damned and the Ballad of Gay Tony. Like, I liked Bully. I liked Manhunt 1 and 2. I mean, I like those games, but my God, I have never been so bored out of my mind playing an open world game except when I played Red Dead Redemption. I mean, it was not doing anything for me.
And what was the selling point of the Red Dead Redemption?
The selling point of Red Dead Redemption is that you play a cowboy who is basically some shit goes down. Your character comes to the conclusion that your main character has to go on this manhunt against the members of his former gang when he was a criminal, and at the end he's double crossed, and then you play as his son who's also got to go and get revenge on the person who double crossed your father, and the game is just boring to me. I see people praising this game, and I just don't see it. I'm not understanding why people love this game so damn much. And I get it that not everyone is going to feel the same way about every game. I understand that. I totally do, but
I'm going to say my first pick now because now it finally crossed to me the game like everyone is shitting themselves for, and I could give three shits if it gets announced. The Smash Brothers Melee remake.
the what?
Smash Brothers Melee remake.
What?
The new Super Mario is Super Smash Brothers Melee HD.
Really? Was that announced, or is
No,
that just rumor?
no, but that's one thing that every rumor mill site is spouting like they that it needs to happen, and for me it's kind of like like I've never been a huge Melee fan, nor will I ever be, and why the hell would Nintendo waste an opportunity for a new Smash on a remake?
Yeah, I can understand that.
Actually, do you believe this whole Super Smash Brothers Switch rumor?
Not particularly.
I mean,
Here's the thing. Okay, here's what I think. Okay, here's what I think. I don't think they wasted the time and money to remake that game from the ground up. Do I think that they might have announced the GameCube Virtual Console? Yes, I do think they will announce a GameCube Virtual Console. Because I'm looking at my Pro Controller right now, and it looks very. If you look at the Joy Cons in their little thing, the controller looks very similar to, in terms of button placement and stuff like that, to a GameCube controller. I could very well see them doing a GameCube Virtual Console now, because they did third gen with the and quasi third 3.5 gen with the TurboGrafx 16, and the fourth gen and the fifth gen. So why not start with the sixth gen and bring the GameCube in? I would love a GameCube Virtual Console. And do I think they might do a redo of Melee on the GameCube Virtual Console, like maybe fix some of those problems? Yeah, but do I think that they're gonna remake the game from the ground up? Why? Wouldn't it be better to have a dedicated team make a Smash Brothers game from the ground up?
yeah, but actually the rumor I was talking in the end wasn't really. It was the whole Smash 4 for Switch rumor.
Yeah, I've heard that. I don't see it. I don't see it happening, just because of the whole monetary thing.
Yeah, because like there has been some pictures, and now everybody is almost certain it's going to be announced on E3.
I don't know. They might do a port, and God bless them if they do, but I don't think they're gonna make a game from the ground up just all over again. I don't see it, but that's just me. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. You know, I don't know everything about gaming, unlike
to be
some
honest,
people may believe.
this is something that's kind of be pissing me off about gaming culture. This whole need for remakes over new games.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me. Like a lot of people are really excited. Like a lot of people are like, "Man, I'm loving Smash Brothers Deluxe." I'm like, it's a port of an old game, a game that's been out for at this point for a long time. I don't see the need to be excited about something that's been out for a long time. But I mean, that's just me. I could be wrong.
And also, something that's been pissing me off is like every stupid leak or outer place comment will become like, or rumor will be, people will post it like it's actual news.
Yeah, but that's the gaming. That's gaming in general. People do that.
Because this whole Smash, but the Smash 4 Deluxe or for Switch or whatever it's called, it was just a stupid picture, and the picture for me isn't even that convincing.
Yeah, it could be a hoax because we've seen hoaxes before for this system. So you know, you never know.
Remember the controls, the supposed NX control that turned out to be fake. Like,
Yeah, we've seen this before. We've seen people, and here's the thing: if it's true, that's good. But like I said, don't you want Nintendo to make new games versus a whole bunch of old ones?
actually, for most Nintendo fans, I see like, I'm not talking about like majority, just the ones I like, the ones I interact on my real life and on internet. No,
I'm just saying, like, I mean, like everyone's like, man, I want a remake of Smash 4, and I'm not gonna poo-poo people. I'm not gonna talk shit about someone who wants a remake of Smash 4, but I mean, wouldn't it make more sense to, I don't know, do a remake of like instead of having people work on remaking Smash 4 for the Switch, wouldn't it be better to have them working on a new Smash Brothers?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
Smash.
that'd be good. That'd be a
Hello,
good idea.
Kanoshi.
Hey,
How's
what's
it going,
up?
Kanosh?
Actually,
Pretty good.
Kanoshi can answer this whole. Kanoshi, what did you think of this whole Nintendo fans preferring remakes over new games mentality?
Well, they're hypocrites for one thing, because they were the same people complaining about, oh, look at the PS4 and Xbox One just getting ports.
Yeah, but I don't think
Um,
those are real Nintendo fans.
Because like I've seen this, at least for what I see, a lot of E3 wish lists, and I mean a lot, are asking more remakes or say sequels to popular games than actual new ideas. They want Nintendo to focus more like, for a fan base that always said Nintendo is stuck in the past. They are more stuck in the past than the company themselves.
Yeah, that's why I say it seems I don't think those are real Nintendo fans because I mean, I don't know about you, but when I buy a new console, like the first thing I think about is when I see a new console, not even when I buy it, when I see a new console, I'm like, what new games, what new genres, what new this hardware is going to let them do things they've never done before. I wonder what new things I'll see, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, one of the reasons I'm kind of not that enthused about an Xbox Scorpio or the PS4 or the Xbox One is because these games they looked slightly better, but it was basically a prettier version of the same shit we had last gen and the gen before that.
yeah. Yep.
I mean, how many times can you do the same thing in games? Like, how many times can I run around and shoot aliens as a guy in space armor? And by the way, I'm going to take this quote from Duke Nukem from Duke Nukem Forever. Don't you want some armor, Duke? This armor is for pussies. I mean, I'm joking with that, but seriously, in all seriousness, though, I mean, I don't know about you, but don't you get tired of? I mean, when you see new art, the reason I was excited about the Super Nintendo wasn't because it was the Super Nintendo. I was excited because we saw games in a way that we had never seen before. We saw the Mode 7s and Mode 11 and Mode 9 and Mode 4. Like, we could play in ways we hadn't played before because the technology enabled us to do that. The N64 was exciting for me because I could play true 3D games, not that pre-rendered shit on the PlayStation, but actual 3D games. I was in a 3D environment doing shit.
Yeah, but you know something? I think about. Haven't you noticed that like most modern iterations of franchise and new IPs from like Nintendo gets scrutinized a lot, and like they will bitch about every minute detail about them, but at the same time, when they say what new games you want to come out, like I saw like what do you expect for the next Fire Emblem game, and you know what actually won with the most votes? They won a genealogy of the Holy War remake over a new Fire Emblem game.
That seems weird to me.
And I was like, why? No, because they want intelligent system to remake every old Fire Emblem like they did with Echoes.
I mean, like, okay, I understand why people want rehashes. I understand that. Like, it's like I would rather. I mean, to tell you the truth, I would rather intelligent systems give Fire Emblem a break for a little bit because I'm about Fire Emblem out. It's I, you know, it's kind of like when you first live on your own, get your own apartment and everything, and you're like, man, I can do everything I always wanted to do. People told me I couldn't do it. I can fill my freezer with sherbet and ice cream sandwiches. I can drink all the alcohol I want. I can eat whatever I want. And then that's
heck, I can even mix the sherbet with the alcohol.
You can mix the sherbet with the alcohol and make adult smoothies. I mean, you go crazy. And then after about a month, you're like, you know what? I need to start eating healthy because I put on like 30 pounds.
I'll be honest. I would have said the same thing if Fire Emblem Fates was the most recent game. But Echoes was a really amazing game that I really love.
Yeah. Like, here's the thing. It's not that. It's just like, okay, Fire Emblem Awakening, Fire Emblem Echoes, Fire Emblem Fates. Well, no, Awakening, Fates, Echoes. Then you get Fire Emblem Heroes. And then you got Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem, the mobile game, Fire Emblem. It's like that movie. Like Nintendo is treating Fire Emblem like Yogurt the Great and Mighty and Spaceballs treated Spaceballs for merchandising. Like Fire Emblem the lunchbox, Fire Emblem the flamethrower, Fire Emblem the T-shirt, Fire Emblem the car, Fire Emblem the hat. I'm like, God damn it, man, let it go. Look, I'm about Fire Emblem stuff, and I like Fire Emblem. I mean, I'm saying this as someone who has the Game Boy versions of Fire Emblem, and I have the original Fire Emblems for the Super Famicom, for the Famicom and Super Famicom. Ironically, the only Fire Emblems I don't have are the Ike games. I don't have Radiant Dawn.
Actually, you should get them. Those are the best ones for me.
Well, I mean, it's just, like for me, Fire Emblem is like this. I prefer Fire Emblem on a handheld versus on a console, which is weird, I know, but I just prefer it on a handheld. When it went to a console, I'm like, why is this shit on a console?
Well, because in the American market, we got most of the handhelds, and we only got 2 console ones. And then we got the 3DS game. So in America, Fire Emblem is more handheld focused.
Well, I mean, just there's certain franchises do well in handheld, like Pokemon. Traditional Pokemon does well in a handheld. It would be weird for me to play it on a console. Like if they're gonna put Pokemon on a console, it better be damn different from what's on a handheld, and vice versa. But Kenoshi, you were gonna say something?
I just think people are. I think Nintendo is going to come out with some more rehashes because these companies, they know that these games are going to sell if they I mean, look at what third party did with Microsoft and Sony's consoles. People snatched up a lot of those rehashes, so-called remasters. But if they didn't sell, Mario Kart 8 just wouldn't be around.
I can't do it. I can't. I refuse. Like everyone's like, hey man, everyone has Mario Kart 8 on DX on the Switch. I'm like, I'm fucking not buying it because I already own that game. And I know people are like, man, it's got some extra characters, it's got an extra track. I'm still not buying it. I already own that game.
Actually, I understand you, Mr. Rebel, because I'm doing the same with Fire Emblem Warriors.
You have Hyrule Warriors. Why would you need, basically the same thing?
Yeah.
I mean, like here's the thing I'll say about Fire Emblem Warriors. Because I think Contrarian's mic dropped out a little bit. And I'll wait till he gets back in. Fire Emblem Warriors is like, okay, if Fire Emblem Warriors is like Dragon Quest Heroes 1, where it literally is just a Warriors game with a skin of Dragon Quest on it, then I'm not going to get the game. If it's like Dragon Quest Heroes 2 or Hyrule Warriors, where it's literally something completely different, just it takes more from its source material than just the skin, then I might get it, but not immediately. I'm not going to buy that game day one. But for the love of God, I'm so tired of people selling me the same shit over and over again. I can't do it.
Yeah. I mean, Nintendo saw what third party was doing.
Oh, sorry, internet problems.
I just can't do it, man. I can't. I refuse. That's okay, man. I'm tired of buying the same shit over and over and over again. I can't.
Actually, Mr. Refa, did you hear what I said before I got cut off?
You said you feel the same way about Fire Emblem Heroes.
Yeah, Fire Emblem Warriors. I'm not going to buy the game because denying me I denied them my money.
Yeah, that's kind of weird though. I mean, I could see. I mean, not buying a game because one character isn't in it is kind of weird.
No, they kind of alienated the Fire Emblem 2 to 10 the fan base in favor of Awakening and Faith. I mean, I get they are the one that sold the most. But
okay. I mean, that still seems kind of weird, but whatever.
But Warriors are supposed to be a celebration of the entire series, not playing favorites.
No, DLC is going to come out. Free.
Yeah, but having to pay extra bucks to get the characters from the other game, that is, I'm sorry, that's an EA, Capcom, and Activision move.
Well, again, this is modern gaming where you have to actually pay more.
Yeah, but we don't know if they'll charge people for the extra characters. They might do what they did with Fire Emblem Heroes, which was a lot of characters you got as free. Some of them came free, and some of it was with the season pass. And the season pass was, I mean, compared to some of what these other companies charge for season passes, it really wasn't that bad. I mean, I'm not defending the bullshit. I'm just saying that there's way worse.
Yeah, but this is not Nintendo's fault. This is more Intelligent System fault. And Intelligent System is kind of becoming a shady company, especially with the DLC practice they pull on Echo, the $45 season pass.
Yeah, but Intelligent Systems is a first-party company, so it is Nintendo's fault. I mean, like, here's the thing. I'm not even gonna say it's Nintendo's fault for this. I would say that, like, customers bought it. Like, when Awakening came out, they came out, like, Awakening the game. You want to know when I got Awakening? I didn't get it when it came out. Remember when they had that sale on, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
How's it going, Shadow?
I got some shit to get off my chest.
Okay, then. Well, you know what? I'm gonna step to the side. You have some things you have to say. Go ahead. You have the floor, sir.
I would like to say that I agree with Dr. Trey's latest video. I too have found that just on the internet in general, that half the people talking shit about specs and stuff like that don't know what the fuck they talking about, and the majority of people that do know what they talking about and everybody look up to them, they are like, I won't say Nintendo apologists, but let's put it this way, they have no qualms defending them when it comes down to it.
Well, yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, it's like, okay, I might not like, let me put it this way, I don't really like Apple products, but I'll never say that they're shit. You know what I mean?
I like Apple products, but I can say they're shit.
Because I mean, the way they make their stuff, it's a closed ecosystem, but the way they make their stuff come together, it works well for what you need it to do.
Very similar to Nintendo.
Yeah, the only difference is that, just for me, Nintendo is a little bit friendlier to my wallet than Apple, which I shouldn't say anything because I've never bought an Apple product in my life. Because when I finally started making money, I'm like, man, I'm gonna get myself an Apple laptop, and I went and I was like, no, I'm not spending that. It's like, no, because like for what I wanted to do, they were like, well, it's gonna be like $2,500. I was like, man, I could get a gaming laptop for that much.
True.
And I was like, I'll just get a gaming laptop and, put an expanded memory in it and install the stuff myself, and I'll get more bells and whistles. Because Apple's like, no, you can't do that because you have to take it to our store. I'm like, I'm not taking it to your store. I can do this myself.
Yeah, I guess it depends. Like, since we're on that tangent, I've been a Apple user since the mid 80s. Mm-hmm. So at the time, they technically were the cheapest technology back then, because back then that was the only computer you could buy for home. Yep. Because IBM computers at the time were like $6,000. Yep.
So look, man, I understand. See, you got the grandfathered in thing going on. Because like I said, I never bought a Mac, but an Apple product. But I mean, like when I was a kid, our computer lab, all we had were Macs. We had Macs and Apple.
and to be fair, today the only difference in all these operating systems today is how the hard drive is formatted. For the most part, they all use the same parts.
Yep.
And Microsoft is starting to secure Windows in a way that Unix always has. So it essentially, right now, literally the only difference between the two is the fact that you can still do some old school hardcore shit on the Windows side to where you can still possibly attack the system. That's the only the only reason now why Microsoft is attacked so much is because it's the most commonly used OS. So I mean, if you want to write a virus or a Mac, you can. I mean, it's just, are you going to really get any money from it?
Exactly, because it's not the biggest install base.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to our topics were. Let me check the feed. Our topics were upcoming games we feel are overrated and hype. I started with Red Dead. Contrarian Bastard went to the Smash Brothers 4 re-release, if it happens.
I had a question about Red Dead. Why is that game so popular? That game was jank as hell.
See, if you came in here earlier, you would have heard me say that game is tedious as hell. I mean, it's
the voice acting doesn't sound that great. The environments just look like something from a PS2.
No, you want to know? You want to know what it was? What I think it was. I think that people wanted to play a spaghetti because basically, on its surface, Red Dead Redemption is a spaghetti western. But I'm like, if they wanted to do that, they should have just bought the rights to Sergio Leone's Man with No Name trilogy and made that to a game. Give me Ennio Morricone's score, and that I would enjoy that a lot better than the shit I had with Red Dead.
I have a problem with people, and this is another thing I want to get off my chest. I have a problem with people interjecting into a franchise and claiming it as the greatest thing known to man, and they have no idea where it came from. Like if you ask a random person on the street, hey, how much do you like Red Dead Redemption? Oh my God, Undead Nightmare was so great. You're talking about the DLC, okay, that's great. What about the original game? They're like, yeah, that was great too. By the original game, I mean Red Dead Revolver.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, the people that made Beautiful Joe, they made that game. So and they look at you like, what's Beautiful Joe? And then you tell them I'm done talking to you.
Yeah. And see, that's the thing. Like I played Red Dead Revolver on the PS2, and I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. The game wasn't that great, really.
No, but you could see what they were trying to do.
Yeah, I think had they, it's the story of Platinum. If they had a bigger budget and more time, look at the awesome shit they could have made. Because the glimmers are there where it could have been awesome,
But they didn't have enough resources.
Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, like, to tell you the truth, here's what I think Red Dead Revolver was supposed to be. Another game came out, I think, around the same time called Gun.
Yep.
And Gun is basically, like, everyone's like, Red Dead Redemption. Gun was Red Dead Redemption before Red Dead Redemption came out. Because basically, it had an interesting story. It was set in the West. You played card games at saloons. There were whorehouses to visit. I'm sorry, cat houses to visit. You could race horses. You could hunt, skin animals. You had bow and arrows, shotguns, rifles, handguns.
Everything.
It had everything that you would think of. Oh, this is Red Dead, except it was on the 6th gen, so it didn't have the graphics.
Yeah.
Hey, however, hey, Julie, you need to fix your mic. You're coming in a little weird.
Scratchy.
I have to use the tablet to come in. I'm trying to get.
Okay.
Those are headphones on that shit.
If you have some buds, you might be able to make it.
Yeah.
Actually, guys, I always wanted to ask you this question: If you would define the internet gaming community as a whole, if you would define it by your own opinions, how would you describe it?
Do you want me to speak on that?
Yeah.
How about we each give our description, and then we'll talk more about it. Who wants to go? You go first, Shadow.
I'll say all it is if you have a public conversation about video games with people, right? The people that vocally like that, they're the only people that are going to talk. The people that aren't talking in that public conversation, that's the vast majority of what you see on the internet today. That's the community. Those are the people that would never fucking talk about video games in public. Those are the people that are on, I won't say on YouTube, but they're flooding the comment sections of the people that are on YouTube. The people that you argue with every day over the dumbest shit ever, those are the people that would never speak at all if there was a conversation about video games in the workplace, at home, at school, whatever. They'll be like, I'm not about to talk about video games in public. They play them just like everybody else does, but their interests and their broken logic and skewed views, they choose to display that privately where they can easily dismiss it, i.e. YouTube, where you can delete comments and delete the history of your comments.
Yeah.
In real life, or having that recorded on the internet for all to see forever and ever, amen,
they would never say it.
They don't want to do that. Now, there are a couple people on here that, they actually believe the shit that they're saying, but they label themselves as entertainment to cover that up. And I can't hate on that though, because they're using the entertainment label per se to make money, and I understand that hustle. And I'm never gonna knock that kind of thing, because if I knock, say, I'll throw a name out there. If I knock Predator, I can't think of the name of you, because he don't change the name so many times. Next Gen, I don't know what he is now. What is he now? Other than Zaire, what is his name now? Next Gen what?
I don't know, man.
But anyway, so the point is, right? The dude is, that's how he makes his money, right? So he wants to get the YouTube check by exciting his fans or whoever follows him, or even people that don't follow him. They give him those legitimate clicks, so he gets the controversy and do whatever. The same thing with Black Bond and all those other people. They thrive off controversy because that's their entertainment medium. And when somebody is willing to admit that, like Zaire did, I can respect that. I'm not even going to fuck with you. What's the point of me getting in a debate with you if I know what you're trying to do? Like, I know what you're trying to do, and even if you really do feel that way, if I unravel it all, you get what I'm saying? And all of a sudden your channel start losing views and stuff like, now I'm fucking with your hustle. You get what I'm saying? And therefore I'm a hater. I'm not gonna do that, because I know other people out there, they're trying to get money the way that they can. And if they've been doing this and that's how they feed their babies, I'm not gonna mess with that. I'm not. So that's kind of, I think those people are different from the people that are legitimately on YouTube, on Google Plus, in forums back in the day, back when everybody was shitting on the GameCube. Remember that? And that was the fun console.
Yep.
Back then they called it kiddie and all this other kind of shit. They would never say it in public. But as soon as you logged online somewhere, all the shit talking starts. If you went on Xbox Live and you start talking, yeah, man, I'm about to go play the Smash Bros. You play GameCube, you'll hear all kind of shit talking.
The lunchbox, the kitty,
all that kind of talk.
The kid box, yeah.
But it's so amazing now how people would say Zelda, i.e. Wind Waker, is their favorite Zelda game of all time. It's so funny because those same people were the people shit talking it back then.
Yeah, that's the thing that gets me, is that a lot of these, I mean, I hate to put it this way, but a lot of these gamers are very two-faced.
Very.
And it's like, look, I get it.
Unfortunately, even some of our own were very two-faced, but
yeah, we're not gonna touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, but it's just weird anyway.
Actually, now that you notice, I noticed that most almost most online communities tend to change their views on games like a lot, and are kind of hypocritical. Like they will defend, like praise a game for something, yet hate on a game for the very same thing they're praising the other game for.
So here's my thing, right? So humans by default are hypocritical because we're allowed to change our mind. It's when you try to prove to everybody that you're unbiased and you'll never change your mind, you feel this way because you feel this way, and nobody can ever change that. And then the next day you're selling consoles. To me, that's a problem, because you're not even a true person to your own word. If you get what I'm saying. I don't like, I know that I'm human, right? I just so happen to exhibit unbiased behavior. So I still buy every console. I think the Xbox Scorpio will probably be the only Xbox console I do not buy. Other than that, I buy just about everything because I can't miss out on them games. I can't. I just can't do it. And it's not because whether I'm a fan of the console or I'm a fan of one or the other. The whole point is somewhere out there's a great game that I do not have the opportunity to play because I go into GameStop and they tell me it's not for the platform that I own. I found that out very early in the fucking Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis days. I'm sorry, Sega Master System days, where going in there and they're like, Alex Kidd is not on Nintendo. That's a problem. I can't ever have that problem ever again. So I devoted myself. I will have a certain amount of disposable income regardless of what my outcome will be or whatever. And if this is going to be my hobby, this is how I'm going to do it. I don't ever want to walk in the game store and not be able to play a game that I see that I like. And other people, they exhibit that behavior. They put on the facade as if they're the same way as what I just said, but in reality, they aren't. In reality, they just want to play what everybody else is playing at the time because they think it's hot and they think it's popular. They don't determine if something is fun for themselves. That's the problem. That's the elephant in the room nobody wants to fucking talk about, whether it's to get views on YouTube or not. Like the average person that you go to work with every day or that you go to school with every day, they're not playing the game because it's fun for them. They're playing it because they heard their fucking friends talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the elephant in the room. Now the question is anybody in this room right now that we're talking about, are they like that? Because the odds are 1 in 5 people exhibit that behavior. And I'm not trying to stir up shit. I'm not talking shit. I'm just saying that's how common that it is.
But that's the truth. I mean, one of the reasons I stopped going to the local GameStop near to me was that I was talking with one of the managers. This wasn't one of the, this is the manager. And like I was there to pick up something for a friend of mine, and like the dude was like, "Yeah, I was playing this Battlefield 4," and I'm like, "Isn't that game still broken?" "Yeah, but my friends wanted to play it." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's a total, like, your bad behavior is making gaming bad for all of us."
I actually am an exception to that. What I like, and most of the times, most of my favorite things are really, really controversial or unpopular. To begin with, yet I still claim them as my favorite, and I feel no shame about it. So, popularity in games I never really gave a shit, but like these days, to be honest, the reason I ask all these questions is because I am kind of losing my passion for gaming because of the whole toxic online community.
You just need to get off. You just need to get off.
Yeah, don't let people ruin it for you. That's half the problem. That's what I was just talking about.
Yeah, and what you need to do, what you need to do, and this is because I understand where you're coming from.
That's why Red Knight is gone.
Yeah, you have to basically be like this. I am a skeptic, okay? When I see someone on YouTube who's like, because like here's the thing, okay? Here's how you know a lot of these YouTubers are full of shit.
What's the deal, YouTube?
Well, no. I'll tell you what's full. Here's how you know. Okay, Game Explain. Game Explain right now, they are riding Nintendo's private parts so hard that Nintendo needs to give them some money. Okay.
Not quite.
A year ago, they had entire videos devoted to them shitting on the Wii U, literally just shitting on the system. And I'm like, yeah.
And Nintendo was still
that's why
giving
I
them
don't believe
exclusive codes, though.
in those guys anymore.
Actually, Mr. Refa, it depends because Derek likes the Wii U. It's Andre that hates it.
No, man, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, here's the thing, okay? We all know the system underperformed. And that it might not have had all the...
Depends on the person, but yeah, it probably underperformed to the people.
Underperformed for Nintendo because their last console sold over 100 million, and this one sold a tenth of that. So
not even to them because they still make profit.
I mean, underperformed in regards to expectations. They still made money off of it. So financially, it was not a failure. It was not a flop. The Xbox 360 for Microsoft, despite it selling over 100 million units, is a financial failure because Microsoft hasn't really made money. They haven't made money off the Xbox division since
since it was invented.
Well, Halo 2 came out and they made money like that.
Yeah, they made money off Halo 2.
Halo 2 was the one profitable game that pushed. It's the one game that pushed the Xbox to be profitable because they sold enough Xboxes of people buying that game that it made it profitable. And then the Red Ring of Death thing happened, and that shit went right back into the red again.
Actually, who was the biggest money sink for Xbox? The Xbox One, the 360, or the classic one?
Probably the 360 because of Gears.
Yeah.
So you had Halo 3 and Gears that single-handedly, that was nothing but profit for them.
When I mean money sink, I mean the one that cost them the most.
The money hatting?
A money sink is like the console they lost the most money of, like the PS3.
Yeah.
The PS3 is Sony's very famous money sink. Right?
That would probably, for Microsoft, that would probably be the 360 because of the Red Ring of Death.
Because the Red Ring of Death was more expensive than the Kinect was this generation.
Yeah, and plus you have to also factor in that during the 360, Microsoft got really aggressive with the money hatting. So that was money that was going out of their pocket that was never coming back.
Plus other unforeseen costs. Because I have reason to believe that they either changed management or they cleaned house completely with regards to their customer support. Because never in my life, right after the red ring of death thing happened, never in my life have I gotten such perfect support from Microsoft.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
they're like, what do you need? What do you need? What do you need? Oh, we're sending the console in the mail. Here you go.
Here's the thing: the people who defended the red ring of death, well, Microsoft just look. But here's the thing: I remember when it first started happening. I had friends who were really heavy in the Xbox, and they literally had to fight tooth and nail to get them to replace the shit that their shoddy ass manufacturing made to be broken.
Because they had them break early, right? They were one of the first people.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So my red ring probably maybe 8 months after that whole thing started, where it got real big or whatever, and they decided they were going to start helping people. I never in my life. Before that, I had issues with Windows related issues that I paid for a certain type of support on the corporate side, and they were like, well, we need to see your blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you're talking about millions of dollars here, and you're treating us like this? And then all of a sudden, a fucking Xbox that only costs like $400, all of a sudden, I'm speaking to people that speak perfect English. They already know what my problem is. Yep. And they're sending one out. Like,
yep.
Something changed there.
That hurt. Like, and here's the thing, and I'll give Microsoft this much credit. Anyone else, that would have sunk the shit out of their gaming division. I mean, the TurboGrafx 16 in America, the TurboGrafx 16 was made out of shoddy parts. Okay system, but shoddy parts. So in America, it never really took off. Plus, you factor in that Nintendo and Sega had the market shut down 16-bit consoles. But
yeah, it was on lock over here.
I mean, generally, but here's the thing. In Japan, which is why I tell anyone who collects consoles, if you're going to get a TurboGrafx 16, don't get a TurboGrafx 16 from America. Get a
get an import.
Get one from Japan because the parts are better. Like, that would sink a company if you released a shoddy system. But Microsoft, yeah, we'll just go with it. We got games. Steve batshit crazy Ballmer steered them through that. I mean, I can't get too mad, but still.
I'm kind of surprised because I always thought the Xbox One was a bigger money thing because Microsoft had been reporting loss after loss with the Xbox One.
Nah.
But they didn't have to replace any of them. So that's the thing. If you think about it, you're paying twice the R&D because now you have to come up with a plan and pay new people just to send these replacements out. And you have to R&D the fix for the replacements.
Yep. So
you're basically launching a console all over again.
Yep.
And that's where the Falcon chipset came from.
I never understood why Microsoft was so stupid for making a faulty console like that.
I don't think
they rushed it.
I don't think it was a design problem. I think it was Global Foundries' problem. So they had a couple of test runs that went okay, but when the production started, that's where the problem was. So
they rushed it, like, because basically they wanted to get it out before Sony came out with their console.
Actually, my Xbox actually died from our ROD. My Xbox One, the only Xbox I ever owned.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing people don't understand is that like sometimes in business, like everyone always thinks in business, be the first to hit. Sometimes it's better to not be the first to hit. Let someone else test that water. And then when they get eaten by the shark, don't go over there because that shark ate somebody. I'll dip in this part of the water. And, Microsoft was so busy trying to beat Sony to the market. Now, we learned after the fact, history would show that Sony would shoot themselves in the ass at $599. And the Red Ring of Death would shoot the Xbox division in the ass with, the 360. And, Nintendo would come out with their Wii and basically kick everyone's ass. But
that's a really good question. How much money did Sony lose with the PS3?
$13 billion.
Between Sony and Microsoft together for the 7th generation, it was a total of $8 billion.
What the fuck?
From an anonymous source.
The PS. Well, I don't know. Look, the PS3, the Sony, the PlayStation division for Sony just alone lost them $13 billion. Okay.
And ironically, that's the only thing keeping them alive right now because of the
which they just canceled production of, which was, I'm like, that's just stupid. But whatever.
Yeah, they shouldn't have done that because it finally started turning around and selling well.
2 years ago.
And then they cut the legs from under it. But
yeah, because the reason I asked. The reason I asked is because like PlayStation 3 is infamous. Like there are some. Remember the memes of the Wii, the Nintendo.
Yeah, the Wii 60 stuff.
It prints money. The money, but PlayStation had a counter meme. The PlayStation 3 that says, "Oh no, it eats money."
Yeah.
And I was like, how much did the PS3 cost Sony for them to make memes like this?
Yeah, and they developed an entire architecture by themselves too. They were part of the entire Cell consortium. So
because they thought in their head they were going to be able to pull a power PC coup like Nintendo did with the GameCube and ATM. And it didn't pan out because the Cell processor, while being very powerful and capable of doing a lot of stuff, had some issues with the modern software of the time, and the PlayStation lost too much money for the PS3 lost too much money for them.
You know what's sad about it? That it was also Sony's hubris that caused them, because Sony got really over cocky with the PS2 success. And they thought that the CEO at that time said that the PlayStation 3 can sell with brand name alone. And I'm not joking. He said that.
You mean
to the point where they were going to sell a console without a graphics processor. They're just going to have the Cell do it alone.
Yeah.
They weren't going to have a GPU.
Yeah, they got very arrogant. They got very cocky. And I mean, there's a reason that guy had to basically they ran him out of the company.
Who was the CEO before Kaz Harai?
I know his name, but I forget.
I can't think right now.
Was Kaz Harai? Was that the guy that they ran out?
He was before Kaz Harai.
Before that was Ken Kutaragi was doing most of the talking. And then after the whole PS3 flop or whatever, they kind of shut him up.
Yeah, Ken Kutaragi, they ran his ass out of town.
He was the one.
People will need 2 jobs to buy a PS3. they'll get an extra job just to afford a PS3.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Here's the double standard. Here's the double standard, and here's why. Like when someone says, "Oh, the Nintendo systems needs third parties," and these third parties stood behind the Wii U. The PS3 was selling abysmally, and third parties stood behind that console and put quality AAA and AA games on that system.
Yep, and it was a good system too. The way it was designed was great. Third parties just didn't take advantage of it because they're like, the Xbox has 512 RAM. Like we could do whatever we want with it. We can program in a really bad way and it'll still run. Whereas on the PS3, you actually had to know what the fuck you were doing. Just like, there was some optimization you had to do. Yeah, it was segmented memory. So. And I mean, they basically supported that system. They still put games on the system. The Wii and the Wii was the shovelware system. They put their cheap knockoff games, sell PS2 ports. Yeah, $500,000 to $1 million. Make money, take that money, put the game on the Xbox 360 and PS3.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, the Wii was the reason that a lot of those AAA games are even made, probably.
Actually, you want to know a fun fact? Most of Ubisoft's PS3 game and Xbox 360 games were funded with the money they made with the Rabbids series on the Wii.
Yeah, and that's why do you think Ubisoft is in the shape they're in? They don't have.
Didn't they publish Carnival games also?
Yeah, Ubisoft did a lot of shovelware. Okay, they did a lot of They dumped a lot of shovelware on the.
Well, at least they gave us Rayman Origins for the Wii, so they had the decency to at least port a good game on the Wii, because most of the Wii games were either mini game collections like the Rabbids. or just
Carnival games.
oh yeah, like well, to be honest, yeah, they were all mini game collections. Now that I said, now that I think about it,
Oh no! It wasn't Ubisoft. It was actually Take-Two.
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was somebody. My point is that, like, there was a lot of shovelware on that system. I mean, ridiculous. Nobody cannot hear you, Joel. We cannot hear you talking.
yeah, but
Yeah, there was a lot of shovelware on that system.
that was a
Ridiculous.
smart strategy. Like, let's do some easy to make
Throwaway shit,
mi-
and then
mi-
we'll take the profits and put
mini
it on.
collection, and let's just throw it all that money away in an expensive, probably won't make a dime game for the PS3.
But
Well,
let's
I mean,
be
that's
real
the thing.
though.
It did make money.
If you made a AAA third-party game exclusively for the Wii, because you would have to build an engine that only works for Wii.
Yep.
And it won't port up well for PS3 and 360. So you're betting the farm on this game selling on Wii and maybe a couple of dollars here and there from a PS3 and the 360 version. Are you going to make as much money as Mario Kart Wii does? Like, that's you got to imagine in a boardroom, that's what they're thinking. They're like, look at what's selling over there. Our shit will not sell. We saw carnival games sold, but what kind of game was it?
And you also have to factor in that a lot of the games that they put on, the shovelware games they put on the Wii probably had a budget of at the most $300,000. Okay, like a small team of people, $300,000 to $500,000, and then it would sell like maybe $500,000. But I mean, at $50 a pop, $40 a pop,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money with a budget of $500,000. They basically, the overhead was low, the profit was high, and it may not have been making. But if you're Take-Two or Ubisoft and you release like 5 of these little shitty games, and each of them is making you $20 million, that's $100 million, and you can take that and fund your AAA game that gives you the prestige, the critical reception, and also the financial. Because GTA 4, they put that shit on everything.
I mean, think about it. Even the AAA games, per se, were hurting. Look at how much Bayonetta, the original game, sold on 2 platforms with over 80 million consoles sold a piece. And then look at the Wii U version that matched that. 160 million consoles combined versus 13 million. And you end up with the same numbers. So when it comes to stuff like that, you're like, oh, well, we're not going to make a sequel for that game. And therefore, the game is in limbo. So Nintendo's like, well, shit, we'll take it. We'll market it. And you end up with at least decent results versus, the other two. So,
and that's what they had to do. We can hear you now, Yin Yang Yao.
I had to do another. I had to go to my alternate to get on how fun.
Yeah, I mean, basically, the 7th gen was a great gen and also not a great gen because of the bullshit business practices. Yeah, I mean, and we're still feeling the effects of that now. I mean, why do you think all of these AAA companies have started laying people off and eating up smaller studios?
And the worst part of it is, I just realized that the 8th gen, Nintendo really didn't have any third party at all.
Well, they did, but it was half-assed.
I said barely, if any, because
pause.
They really
test punch. Just thought I'd let y'all know.
Nice to
What?
let you know, since there's some people of us that don't have a Switch. Thank you very much.
Oh, the global test fire's up today?
It let me on for a split second, then it kicked me off. But it was on.
What do you guys think of ARM? I don't know what to think. Like,
I honestly like it because, if anything, it really has some different flavor to it. It's clearly better than Street Fighter V.
Okay.
Yeah, but
so it was unofficially up.
Street Fighter 2 HD edition. It's 20-year-old games better.
But let's keep it real. I could go to someone's yard sale and find an old Tiger Electronics Street Fighter 2 of Blanca E. Ryu, and that'd be better than Street Fighter 5. So that's not a high.
I'm going to be blasphemous here. I think Shaq Fu is better than Street Fighter 5.
It is. It is.
Wow.
At least Shaq Fu.
It has more content. Well, it had more content.
At least Shaq Fu is fun. And Shaq Fu had a single player, an arcade mode, a versus mode, a boss rush mode, secret characters you could unlock. It already was doing better than Street Fighter.
Capcom did the impossible. They actually surpassed the worst fighting game of all time with Street Fighter 5.
And that is scary. But true.
Well, if anything, now they could claim that they have the best and the worst fighting games of all time.
They have the best and the worst. And now they're trying to make up for it with Street Fighter 2. They're like, well, if all else fails, Street Fighter 2.
Yep. Which so far is great. And has way more content.
That's probably their lifeboat.
And the sad thing about that is Tekken 7 came out and that game was amazing. And I was like, Tekken can get their shit together. Why can Capcom not do with Street Fighter?
Because they like to burn their money.
Because the people who made the best Street Fighter games don't work at Capcom anymore. They work at SNK and Arc System Works, the people who make Guilty Gear.
And
they don't work at Capcom anymore.
And Tekken, are the guys that made the modern Tekken still the same guys?
I think more or less, like the people in charge is the same guy. I mean,
I played Tekken 7, and that game is like amazing.
I'm gonna keep it real. Like every time I see Namco Bandai put energy and money into Tekken, I'm like, you bastards! You abandoned Soul Calibur. I don't care.
Oh yeah, don't remind me of the last piece of shit game from that franchise.
Soul Calibur 6, the one with the single player was garbage.
You bastard!
No weapon master mode.
You had to bring that game up. I want to forget that game it was ever made.
So like Namco Bandai is like 50-50. 50% of the time they're effing up. 50% of the time they're doing something good. It's just which side of the coin are you going to get?
Fly.
Yeah, which side of the coin are you going to get? This has gone off the rails, but this is BS Busters. We always go off the rails. So I guess we skipped 1 and 2. We skipped topic 1 and 2 and went straight to 3. General contrary thoughts about otherwise popular current topics. We just skipped right over. we just went all over to all types of stuff. So with that being said, and went straight to free topic. So we still, I got this slated till 8:30, so we still have a little bit of time. Anyone want to bring anything up before we get to the final?
Well, I had
voice chat.
Oh,
people
you had to open that scab up.
We don't really need to talk about that again.
Learn about the fact that there was an event called the Swap Note incident.
Yeah, it's not even that. Like, look, listen, okay, you don't like it. Fair enough. You know what? You don't need to do it. You can play. From what I've seen, what they're charging you for with the online is for voice chat and to use that app. If you really like, I think there's going to be like a basic model that just lets you play online, but you can't talk to anyone or use any of the other special features. If you really look, you can look. As someone who played Splatoon on Wii U with over Google Hangouts and got my ass kicked.
3 minutes is not enough time to have a reasonable idea of how to fight.
It's not gonna listen. Voice chat is not gonna help you. I know you want to talk to your friends. It's not gonna help you. Unlike certain people on YouTube, a certain old man with really big ears who likes to say, "If I had voice chat, I could have warned them." No, you're not warning anyone in Splatoon. But
I was about to say the only time I think that may be even slightly viable, and I'm using that word slightly as a small case, is when it's in the ranked battles, where you have 5 minutes.
But even then, I mean, like, okay, the cool thing about Splatoon, and I've said this before, is that in the first few seconds, when your team spawns in your I call it an inkwell, but that's not what it's called. In your base, you can tell by your weapons what your role is and what you need to do. That's it. That's all you need to know. And if someone isn't pulling their weight, you know, because at the end of the match, you look and you see no liters of paint inked. It's like, this dude is effing up. I saw him running around, but he's effing up.
Which is kind of a sad thing when you see that happen. Like, seriously, you got 20 kills.
You didn't do nothing.
No ink.
You wasted my time, dude. You wasted everyone's time, you bastard. No, I'm joking. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, the voice chat thing is not even worth talking about at this point. Because I mean, like, here's the thing: no matter what Nintendo does, people are gonna get mad. So it doesn't matter.
They're after they do, they're after they don't, and yet they try to be the one responsible, unlike other companies.
Here's what I will say: for those of you who spent, on average, $40 a year for 10 years on Xbox Live.
That's
no, we cannot hear you. You spent on average $40 a year on Xbox Live for stuff that you were already kind of paying for if you had an ISP. Yeah, we're getting basically the same stuff for half of that. So yeah, Microsoft ripped you off. Go sue them. Other than that, yeah, you know, whatever. I mean, here's the thing. I don't, personally speaking, I don't really care about online features that much. You know, we've seen
as long
numerous.
as it works and it doesn't slog you down, right?
Yeah, exactly. As long as it works, I really don't care. Because I mean, most of the games, okay, online multiplayer is never going to trump local multiplayer. It's just not. Okay.
And it's never going to happen with Mario Party. I'm hoping that for sure.
Me sitting next to my friend playing Smash Brothers, talking shit, getting beat up and beating up my friend in Smash Brothers is never going to be less than having headphones on my head playing whatever the hell it is, you know.
Yeah.
Doom
for me, I have to
or
say
whatever.
this: it's more fun to serve humble pie in person than over the internet. Besides anything, I don't know how that pie was going to fit.
How's it going? We can't hear you, Contrary. Or we could.
I can't.
Yeah, we could.
I think it's some. Yeah. I'll be right back.
Eesh. Audio.
Yeah. Okay, now we can hear you sighing, but.
Oh, finally.
Okay.
Stupid audio problems from my computer. Sorry. Actually, I was going to say something quick about the boy. Hello.
We can hear you. We're letting you.
I was going to say something quick. For all of those of you that are complaining about voice chat, there's this magical little application called Discord, where you can just download it and have high quality voice chats, or you can use Google Hangouts. Like, stop bitching, for God's sakes.
I'll tell you what, every complaint I can dismantle every last one of them. Every one of them.
That's the thing that gets me. Everyone's like, oh man, voice. I mean, but here's the thing. You don't need to dismount it because no matter what, they're still going to bitch and complain about it. It does not, like, they're still going to whine and say, oh, it should have this, it should have that. And all I have to say is, so what? Like, okay, are there any games where you absolutely need voice chat? Like, absolutely, 100%, you need it. Like, the game cannot be played unless you have the ability to coordinate with whomever you're playing with.
And I think the strawmen over there are saying,
Overwatch.
"Oh, dude."
I think Overwatch and Team Fortress 2 are the only things that come to mind.
Yeah, but there are people who play Overwatch in teams who don't have voice chat, and they do just fine. So I don't.
Like I
So
played.
you can't even say Overwatch.
There were games. Halo 3. I played a lot of Halo 3 on the 360. There were a lot of matches I didn't play. Team deathmatch. No voice chat, but we still ended up winning the game.
So
And I played Splatoon while we were playing with random strangers and ram battle and we won a lot of match without any type of communication, like everyone doing their own shit. So that is just bullshit.
Well, you're right. That was my point of the entire argument. Is that the argument that this game can't be played because it, like there are no games that need voice chat. You want voice chat. You want to be able to talk with your friends. That's cool. There's lots of stuff in games that I want. I wish more games had LAN play. I wish more games had a co-op campaign. I wish more games had the ability. I wish more games. I wish GTA 5 had single player expansion content. Because they had it in GTA 4. And technically, they had it in GTA's for the 6th gen. Liberty City Stories, Vice City Stories, those were expansions. But it is what it is.
I'm gonna go ahead and break it down. All right, so I'm gonna have to quit this match real quick. I hated Busy, sorry, but he quit anyway because I roasted his ass. But anyway, so check this out. So every complaint, right? The first one is, oh my God, I saw this Splatoon headset and it looks complicated. First of all, that isn't the first headset. There was a PDP headset that was shown and leaked before the system even came out. Yeah, so it's not the only one that exists. All right?
There may be more.
Number two, it looks complicated.
Complicated by asterisks.
If you watched Terminator Juice's video, this is exactly what I was going to put in my video. Every headset that has come out since the PS2 that used the USB port required a plethora of cables. And the reason why that is because if you want to hear game chat and the game sound at the same time, you have to do what's called a pass-through, which means that the two audio channels, the left and the right little red cables, if you have component or composite or whatever, those need to be converted to it.
Since I remember that some of us have those TVs that have the audio left, audio right, and video.
Yes. So you need to use those. And they are converted to a 3.5 millimeter jack, which also plugs into a splitter that goes into one jack on the headset. So you're able to talk and also hear other people talk and hear the game audio at the same time. Every headset has an option for that. Every gaming chair has an option for that. Why people are acting like this is brand new blows my motherfucking mind. And so with regards to the cables, look at every other headset that came out before it.
And I bet you the next thing that the Strawman's going to use is Bluetooth.
Well, Bluetooth requires it too, because guess what? The Xbox, for whatever reason, they decided to not adopt the standard that was invented in 2000, which is Bluetooth. It's not natively in the system at all. So you need to plug a little USB dongle to it or a 3.5 millimeter jack dongle with some type of power transmitter to be able to use the Bluetooth headset. Now on the PS3 side of things, it didn't work for a very long time, and then it only worked with certain headsets. And the same is true of the PlayStation 4. Now, both of them have audio jack plugins where you can hear both sound and gameplay on their headsets for the PS4 and the Xbox One. But that's only if you buy the stereo headset that's not included in the package. So what do you have in the box when you buy a PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One? You have a basic headset where you cannot hear game audio and game chat at the same time. So what are you doing? Listening to the shit from your speaker and listening to it from your headset at the same time. Which is the same thing you would be doing if you just had a cell phone and you didn't want to use the dongle shit for the Nintendo Switch.
Yep.
You'll be hearing it in your headset and you'll be looking at the TV and hearing the sound on the TV. No fucking difference. That's just for that one complaint about it being convoluted. It's the same shit. You just include a cell phone in there instead of plugging it into the controller.
Yep.
Which is what you did on the Wii U or whatever if you had a Wii U. I do believe you can hear sound and chat if you just use the Wii U gamepad in Black Ops 2. I heard somebody say that, and I'm like, I distinctly remember being able to hear everything through my earpods on the Wii U. I'll have to try that again, but I'll try it, and I'll probably record it and upload it or something just to prove them wrong. But I'm fairly certain I did that. But that being said, that complaint is bullshit because it means that either one, you never used a headset before and you're just making this complaint because it's a Nintendo headset, or two, you have a shitload of the motherfuckers at your house, but you only want to complain because Nintendo's doing it. That's just for that one complaint.
I think it's the first one and not the second one.
Yeah, they
because I mean, let's keep it real. Most of these headsets, the decent ones, are kind of expensive. And I mean, like generally speaking, if you have one or two,
about $30.
Well, I mean, okay, depending on the prices, like, because basically every gen the price has gone up. So like 7th gen, when I actually started paying attention to stuff like that, they were like 30 to 40 to $50 for a console. Like, which is, I mean, that's fairly cheap if you compare it to what you'd pay if you were buying a PC headphone set, because a decent PC one is way more than that. Then I wish I could just get one for $30. But I digress. I mean,
okay. So, all right, the other point, right? And this was made by my good friend K-Bomb Twin over there on Level Heads podcast, right? We went back and forth on Twitter on that, and he was talking about me, the quote unquote Nintendo fan, in their last podcast or whatever, right? So here's my problem with them. The problem I have with that is that I can't forget the third. I can't remember the name of the third person on the podcast or whatever. But he actually brought up the point that directly refutes what K-Ball was talking about, and that thing is that Nintendo chose to do this with Splatoon, right? For the Splatoon headset. They also chose to do it with Splatoon on the Wii U. They don't want, you know, little kids hearing "fuck you, nigger" and all this other kind of stuff, or whatever that you would hear in a Call of Duty game. Excuse my French or whatever, in my racial slur.
Well,
whatever.
It's true. I mean, I can't get mad. It's true.
But anyway, so Nintendo chose to do that. Where do you get off saying that the entire console is that way? Because it wasn't that way for Wii U.
Nope.
So at what point could I not talk to randoms on every Wii U game because Splatoon came out? Granted, Black Ops 2 launched with the Wii U. You can talk to randoms all day. You can make friends. You're on there like, hey, who's that talking right now? And you see them during your kill death ratio or whatever, or in the lobby, and you say, hey, be friends with me. Boom, y'all are friends. Too fucking easy. The thing that they say Nintendo doesn't do, they allow it. They just don't want to do it themselves as far as a first party. And if they don't want to do that in every game, who the fuck cares? You can do it in the other games you claim to like.
Yeah, but
if you like Madden and you like Call of Duty or whatever,
you want these people to make efforts.
Why the fuck do you care?
You want these people to make an effort, dude. Look, these people want to bitch and complain about non-issues. It's like someone saying, "Hey, man, this greasy ass hamburger and this greasy spoon is greasy," but
what
greasy spoon? Everything here is greasy. What?
As
Why
much
are you
as
complaining
people,
about
as
it?
much as people like to say Nintendo is a closed ecosystem, the more there is evidence supporting that it's open. Because there's nothing stopping a developer to say, you know what, we want to do voice chat only through the headset jack on the Nintendo Switch, just like we did on the Wii U previously. There's nothing telling them they can't do that. There's nothing saying, oh, we're going to release our own headset and we only want it to work through USB. There's nothing stopping them from doing that. Now, data transfer and coming up with your own hard drive and shit, maybe you have to do an extended conversation with Nintendo about that, because that's obviously a security hole. But you know, other things like that, as far as data throughput for audio, that's however you want to do it.
I just think they like bitching and complaining. I think this is all just, these are people who want to find something Because like, here's the thing.
They
Let's
want
keep
to
it
find
real.
something to really hit
The
Nintendo and
system,
say
the system is
they
hot
are
right now.
the weakest thing in the
People like
world.
it. The system is hot right now. People like it. Nintendo is selling them as soon as they get a new shipment in, they're gone. Okay, and they need something to bitch and complain about.
Because their AAA third-party games aren't in the news or they're ignored.
Exactly.
And the Xbox Scorpio is all but ignored at this point. The 4K fiasco, and let's not forget VR. Remember how that was supposed to be the big thing, that even the press was going out of their way to say how they think it is going to be the big thing because people were paying them to do it. I'm sorry, excuse me.
Well, I mean, let's keep it real. Warren Ellis himself, Warren Ellis himself said, look, I was here when VR was going to save us, air quotes. Look, VR, they've been trying this shit for three gens. The 80s, the 90s, the aughts, and now they're doing it again.
Nintendo knew better. They already learned the hard way.
Yeah.
They tried it with the Virtual Boy.
Yep. They're like, we don't see a way to where we can make games more fun, was the quote, I guess, from Shigeru Miyamoto at the time when they.
So they are trying to use augmented reality instead of virtual reality.
Yeah, but okay.
And Microsoft is too. They're
it's
waiting.
not going to be the same.
I think they're all going to wait on Apple to see what they do, and then they'll.
But let's keep it real though. If you go back to the first arcades, the penny arcades, all those games were augmented reality and motion control. I mean, this isn't something new. It's something that tried and tested and fucking worked.
God, I love this system. It just conserved battery for me.
Why did they?
You must be talking about the Switch.
Yes.
With that, it charges other shit.
Yes. It's fucking awesome. I love it.
Well, the Switch is an amazing system. I'm in love with it as it is.
Yeah, Nintendo made themselves a nice little system.
It's a system that advertises itself, which is so hilarious because you could just be like, "Yeah, man, I got a Nintendo Switch. What's that?" And then you pull it out your fucking pocket, and they're like, "Whoa! You had this in your backpack the whole time?" Yeah. And you're playing what on there? I'm playing Zelda on there. You're playing what on there? I'm playing Madden on here. They're like, whoa. So you mean that Mario Kart that my daughter had, you could play that on this like at any time? Yup.
Actually, yesterday I got stuck in this Gaia level that I was going to go out with my friends, so I just took the Switch and completed the level on my friend's car. That's how convenient the Switch is.
Yeah, too convenient. Too convenient. I go downstairs. My son's on the Wii U. I go upstairs and play the Switch.
It's a great system. I mean, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's a great system. Nintendo really knew what they were doing. And it's not perfect, but any complaints I have are superfluous, and it's nitpicking, not me. This is a serious problem.
You know, it's a serious crime that I have one of the best Nintendo system I ever owned, and I haven't dedicated the time it deserves because I'm on a gaming slum because of what I told you guys at the beginning. Like, I want to get my shit together and play the fuck out of my Switch.
Well, see, that's the problem, dude. You can't be worried about what other people say about your gaming choices.
Nope. Fuck them all the way live. Fuck them.
Yep.
Yeah, because now you guys are motivating me to get on my Switch and play the fuck out of the 3 games I have. Zelda, Mario Kart, and Gaia.
This is why Gamers at Large was created. Yeah. Jay had a Google Plus group. We started talking and we're like, hey, we like playing fucking games. Hey, we hate these fuckers that keep talking shit about us. It would be cool if we could all play together or whatever.
Let's talk about it. Yeah. Let's share the joy. See, I mean, this is why I created my channel. I like getting people who like to talk about video games and talking about video games. And that's, I mean, look, I can't be worried about other people. So what? You're an Xbox fan. You like playing Xbox games. Good for you. As long as you enjoy your games, great. You're a Sony fan. You like to play your Sony games. That's good. Play your Sony games. I'm a Nintendo fan. Nintendo was the first home console I ever owned. Not the first one I played, the first one I owned. Okay, So, I mean, that's normally my primary console in my house. But I've been a PC gamer for a long time, too. So it's not like I can't do other stuff, too.
You didn't play games before the third generation?
I did,
but you didn't own any of them.
It's not the one. It's like, okay, it's like my older brother had an Atari, and I played the Atari. But, I mean.
But
like,
you didn't have it.
You're telling like a 2-year-old. Well, I mean, he was my half brother. It wasn't like it was mine. You're telling a 2-year-old trying to play a shitty port of Donkey Kong on the Atari 2600. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, I was about to say I was around 5 or 6 at the time, so I guess I was a little bit older to appreciate that type of stuff. But yeah, at 2, nah. Now my youngest cousin was playing Mario 3 when she was 3.5 years old. And she remembers that fondly, still to this day. Yeah, but and she's like 30.
Yeah, Mario actually had, like you knew what was going on.
Yeah,
it was an easy concept.
The first console I owned though was not an NES. After the fact, I went and got
an Atari.
No, it was a Super Nintendo.
Oh,
actually, the first console I owned was the 64.
Yeah. First console I ever, because it was I shouldn't say my parents bought it for me because literally my birthday was in February. Christmas, obviously, 2 months earlier. So basically, I got the Super Nintendo that came packed in with Super Mario World, obviously. Yep. Come on, folks. And then for my birthday, which was literally 2 months later, I got Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past and
while we're on that real quick, I want to find this mystical control set version because I was in a conversation with somebody else on another podcast. It was maybe a year ago or so. But they confided in me factually that they had a Super Nintendo with Super Mario World and only one controller. I've never seen this before because Super Nintendo was the last console other than the Switch to launch with 2 controllers and a game. It was the last one. The NES was obviously the first. It was their first entry. But that was after a relaunch because they launched in New York in the year prior in 85.
It was a limited launch.
Yeah, then they came back in 86 and they had Mario Brothers, Duck Hunt, and Track and Field or whatever with the Zapper and 2 controllers. Mm-hmm. The Super Nintendo came with Super Mario World
and 2 controllers.
To my knowledge. Now somebody told me they had a version that had Super Mario World and only 1 controller.
Well, I mean, there was
one with the Super Nintendo with just 1 controller, but that was just a control set. It didn't have a game.
Well, but, I mean, they did.
It must have been in a different territory. That's the only thing I can think of. They did
do. Towards the end of the Super Nintendo's life, Nintendo did have the SNES. I almost want to say SNES Mini. It was a revamped SNES.
Yeah, the one with the different colors or whatever.
Different colors. It did have a Super Nintendo and only 1 controller. And I mean, there could have been a limited retail exclusive bundle that could have had that. Maybe because I remember when I was a little kid that Sears, Woolworths, Woody's, Hex, they had a video game area, and they did have some retail exclusive bundles.
That's true. Because at one point in time, there were only people that sold the Pippin and the Pico. I think it was Sears. Yeah, Sears and probably JCPenney, I think. So
there could be. I mean, and because here's the thing. When you're a kid, you aren't buying your games. Your parents are buying your games. So you don't exactly. But from what I remember, I do know there were retail exclusive bundles. Like
maybe Kmart or something, I'm thinking.
Kmart, Target, maybe Circuit City.
I'm telling my age here, but probably Zayres.
Maybe could be,
yeah. So, okay, continue your story. I'm sorry.
Circuit City, who's dead now.
Oh yeah.
Old people talking about dead ass stuff.
USA.
KB toy.
KB toy. Yep. Long gone. Blockbuster Video.
I'm glad those bastards are gone. And may they rot in hell. But I will say this much though, Blockbuster Video was great for filling up my library of SNES games. When they were different, they were stock. Oh my god!
My only problem with that was if I liked the game, I might as well have bought it because I would rent it every weekend.
Well, I mean,
Is it wrong that my dad read me Eternal Darkness from Blockbuster?
and you never returned it, didn't you?
You know, even though I was still a kid by that point.
I mean, my parents. The first time I played Shadow Man for the N64, it was rented for me, and that game is not for kids. It's got rape, it's got life, it's got God and death and religion. It's got cursing.
Were you ever able to find that game in a store? I could only find it in a Blockbuster. Shadow Man for Nintendo 64, right? I could never find that in the store.
No, I found it. The Blockbuster near me had it, but basically I rented it like twice, and then it kind of disappeared. I guess I don't know. And then I went to Toys R Us when the PS2 came out, and they were getting rid of their N64 stock, and basically I got they had a buy one get two free because they were getting rid of N64 cartridges, and I got Shadow Man and Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Awesome.
And what was the third game? Donkey Kong Country 64.
Awesome.
So yeah,
that's a great cleanup because those games were not cheap when they first. I think Conker was around $70 when I got it. When it first came out, and Donkey Kong 64 is probably just as expensive because it came with the RAM card.
Yep, but I'll tell you this much though, that RAM card made so many other N64 games play so much better.
Man, Perfect Dark, Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Night and day difference.
Mm-hmm. Gauntlet Legends, Rogue Squadron, Diddy Kong Racing actually raced better with the
Diddy Kong Racing, and it was something else too. Was it Episode 1 Racer?
I never had that one. I was like, I don't like Episode 1.
Racer was good though.
You know something funny? I never got into Mario Kart 64, but Diddy Kong Racing was the to-go racing game for me on the Nintendo 64.
Same for me.
Like I think I became a Mario Kart fan with Double Dash, and now with 64. Like
same for me.
I'm too old for that. I started way early.
But then again, let's keep it real.
Really.
But let's keep it real though. The N64 was inch with kart racing games. You had Beetle Adventure Racing. You had Top Gear Rally. You had Extreme G, Extreme G2. You had Snowboard Kids 1 and 2. You had I would say South Park Racing, but that game sucked. You had Micro Machines Racing. You had Lego Island Racers. You had Diddy Kong Racing, and of course Mario Kart 64. But I didn't like Mario Kart 64.
Actually, me neither. I even play on the Virtual Console. It's a really vanilla Mario Kart.
Well, I mean, it established a lot of the things that it started establishing a lot of the things that Mario Kart is known for. But for me, just Diddy Kong Racing was so much better because it had a single player, it had multiplayer, it had a battle mode that I actually enjoyed and didn't feel as tacked on as Mario Kart did.
I think my favorite Mario Karts are Double Dash, Mario Kart Wii, and Mario Kart 8. Like those are the 3 Mario Karts I play the most.
Okay. Everyone has their favorites. Kanoshi, you have anything to add?
What was the topic again? We were talking about the N64.
Oh, I never got to say like things like what was it? Things that people say that you think differently was.
Well, we kind of went over. We kind of hit all the topics on the list inadvertently, even though I didn't bring them up. We hit upcoming games we feel are overrated and hype. We never got to number 2, which is upcoming games that we feel that are going to announce that are
Underrated.
Yeah, underrated. We hit generally contrary thoughts about otherwise popular current topics.
Oh boy,
Um,
I could have said a lot because come on, my name is the contrarian bastard.
Well, we hit a lot of them. Like Shadow hit it. When you brought up a lot of your stuff, we hit that one. We did the free topic, and I mean, we had a little bit of time. I mean, there's a reason why I moved my cast up a little bit, so we had a little bit more time, so people wouldn't be, losing their stuff. But Kenosha, you have anything you want to add?
I'm just tired of people talking about things they think they know about.
And don't know shit.
Like everybody, some people I was talking about, when they saw the whole voice chat thing, it's like, this is the way it's going to be, and it's not going to be any different. It's like, how do you know this? How do you know
You
this
work
is
at
the only way?
Nintendo?
Yeah.
Actually,
Sadly, I don't, so
actually,
we can't do anything about that.
What Culture posted an article saying that the voice chat thing proves Nintendo is stuck in the past.
Okay.
And I was like, they added voice chat, a thing that wasn't available on other consoles. How is that stuck in the past?
I mean,
Simple. They want it all. They want it installed permanently into the system.
technically speaking, Nintendo had voice chat before anyone else with the Saddle of You.
Yeah.
So, what's your point? They're stuck in the past. Something they helped create? Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, it was like fuck internet gaming culture. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, I mean, like I said, you can't allow other people to control what you do.
Yeah. Besides, if anything, that means that you're going to miss out on some good games that are probably not well known, like Fantasy Life for some of us.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying Fantasy Life is perfect, but
I was saying it's a gem.
yeah, I mean, for what it is, it's really good.
Yeah, and I've been meaning to get some help trying to defeat some of these big creatures.
Yeah, I mean, once you get to around level 70 in Fantasy Life, depending on your class, it gets a lot easier. But you have to get to around level 70.
You haven't reached the job
You mean
specific.
the Island of Light, the super quests with the super bosses? Yeah,
Those 12.
I did two of them. One for the Paladin and the one for the
I was able to do the one for the blacksmith and the carpenter.
I did the one for the Paladin and the one for the I want to say the bodyguard, the mercenary. Like I did, and those were really tough because some of those bosses are like, my God, this dude is insane. But I did it.
Yeah, you're gonna have to be in the double digits the triple digits easy for that.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's some upcoming underrated games that I'm looking forward to that I don't think anyone has really.
So if anything, I'm gonna cry because as far as I know, they've put Fantasy Life 2 on the worst kind of system that you can.
Mobile.
Yep.
Smartphone. Well, I mean, it could come to the Switch. I mean, you never know, but Factor 5 you've been messing up.
What happened with Factor 5?
They're putting Fantasy Life sequel on smartphones.
Oh yeah. Now I remember.
Yeah.
So at least it's not all the bravest.
So here's the game. Here's the game that basically here's some underrated games that I'm looking forward to. Believe it or not, Agents of Mayhem from the Saints Row people at Volition. I'm actually looking forward to that game. Because I like Saints Row, and this is like Saints Row except you control multiple characters and not just one person. So totally looking forward to it. That's it. Just wondered.
Well,
Yeah, I'm still here.
I'm sorry. I was talking. I have audio problems today. That's all I can say. I need a new headphone. I wanted to say something, but I kind of feel like I still. Oh, now, what though? Are you guys hyped for E3 next week?
E3 is actually
No.
next week. That's actually a surprise because it feels like it was a good month away, and now for me, I'm mixed because I get to watch delayed episode 3, delayed episode 4, coming soon the movie, and then Nintendo.
What can I say?
Actually,
How can
I think Sony will have some surprises. Like,
how can I put this? How can I? I mean, I really didn't want to touch. I really didn't want to touch E3, but since we're here and I got a little bit of time, what can I
E3
say
could
about?
die. E3 could die tomorrow, and I wouldn't
You
shed
asked for
tears.
that one.
Maybe a crocodile tear.
Here's the thing.
Maybe.
I'm pretty sure Dr. Philgood is going to do a pre-E3 episode next week at my time. If he doesn't do it, I'm going to do a pre-E3 episode. But here's what I'll say about E3. Okay, about next. I mean, we've already gone over E3, what we think Sony's going to do, what we think Microsoft's going to do, what we think Nintendo's going to do. I think we'll see some surprises from third parties, believe it or not, for E3 next year. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of really
They're not
cool
going to
stuff.
be explosive.
I don't think we're going to see a lot of stuff from certain people. I'm just saying. I know some people are going to get mad. I don't care. I'm just telling you how it is.
Just get ready to break out the pretzels because it will get salty. Oh God, I'm going in my salt theme song.
I don't care, man. Here's the thing. I don't care if people get angry. Here's what people need to understand. E3 is not for gamers. It was never for gamers.
It's for the news in a sense.
It's for the media. It's for people who own stock in these companies, and it's for the people in the industry. It's like when I go to.
It's for the news, basically.
When I go to a bar owners association press conference or convention, it's not for people who like to go to bars. it's not for people who like to play arcade machines. It's for people who own bars. It's for us to go and talk about our industry and talk about new things coming out that we can capitalize on to make more money. E3 is not for gamers and gamers who are way too excited. I'm glad that Nintendo started to hijack E3.
But that contradicts something because the slogan for E3 is the biggest gaming event of the year.
Says who?
For gamers.
No, who says that it's the biggest gaming event of the year?
No, the biggest gaming is the slogan.
The biggest gaming event of the year is Black Friday. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's the biggest. The biggest gaming event of the year is Black Friday and the holiday season. E3. I mean, who says E3 is the biggest gaming event of the year?
Well,
how is it a big event to get lied to?
Yeah, but I mean, haven't we established, Contrarian, that a lot of the YouTubers on YouTube are full of shit and don't know what they're talking about?
Yeah, I just use it cynically, the term cynically.
Isn't E3 the biggest event of the year? No,
that'd be Black Friday because of how much is sold.
Look, if you're a married man, the biggest event of your year is your anniversary or your wife's birthday or Mother's Day and your kids' birthdays. Because you better know that shit or you ain't going to be no happiness in your house.
Okay. Yeah, the biggest gaming. How is it a big gaming event to sit there and be lied to the whole time?
I mean, yeah, okay. I'll tell you what. If E3, if every year the games they announced at E3, if like 80% of them weren't delayed, overhyped, or it just turned out to be dog shit when they finally came out, I would say, yeah, E3 is important. But how many games? Like, okay, remember that E3 from last year where Microsoft was like, we're gonna have Scalebound, we're gonna have Cuphead, we're gonna have Fable Legends, we're gonna have this game, we're gonna have that game, and those games have been canceled or buried. So
Exactly.
I mean, like, if I'm using E3 as a barometer about how healthy the games industry is, ooh,
it's cold.
Remember the Final Fantasy VII remake, like orgasm?
Oh
You know,
God, the
so
worst.
many people.
of
I'm gonna
all.
rant about that game real quick. So many people in that theater should have known better. They should have known better. This isn't SquareSoft making the game. This is Square Enix, the same Square Enix who gave you Final Fantasy 13, the same Square Enix who piecemealed Hitman. You know, that Square Enix. The same. It's just like
I was underwhelmed when I heard about the Final Fantasy VII remix and Final Fantasy 15. And people who say that Final Fantasy VII will have a remix of the Final Fantasy VII battle system, I have a middle finger I want to show you.
God damn.
Remember where IGN almost cried? The IGN employees almost cried.
Or I'll take a step further. Remember how people made a mess in their pants when
about Shenmue 3?
And here's the thing, there wasn't even any damn footage for Shenmue 3. It was just some stills of Shenmue 2.
What happened to that game?
It's
still in development.
It's dead. It died.
Okay?
These people.
Like, here's the thing. Why would you trust a guy who is known? He's known. Like, this is what he does. He's known.
Right back. My dad is calling me.
He's known for making games that have he's known for releasing games that have issues. Why would you trust that guy?
I don't know, man.
Games that break their budget, games that have issues. Why would you trust? I mean, that's like someone saying, "Hey, man, this dude's a crackhead, and every house he's been in, he's stolen people's stuff. Like he stole it and pawned it for money so he get more crack. But you know, he's cleaned himself up. He can stay in your house. You're like, go ahead, and then you act surprised when he breaks in, when you come up, stuff's missing.
Yeah, that's the kind of company that you want having to help you out in your time of need.
I can't believe this stuff is missing. What's wrong, man? I mean, like gamers just don't.
They just don't think.
Exactly. Gamers, you can tell a gamer anything. Gamers are too damn gullible. I'm gonna do a video next week because I'm on my 2-week vacation. And I'm gonna say
on E3, of course.
Well, no, I'm saying gamers need to be. I think I already did a video about this, but it bears repeating. Gamers need to be more skeptical. Okay. Stop always assuming that people are going to do what you want them to do.
Not watching E3 is a vacation. I'm just gonna say it.
Well, I can't watch E3 because I have people working on my house, and I'm gonna have to watch them, or when I can, and when I can't, well, my poor ass is gonna be at my house.
I was gonna say, if anything, watch it after they leave.
Nah, man. I got better stuff to do at my time.
I'm back.
Welcome back, you contrary little freak.
I'm a fragile little flower lady, so.
Yeah, and I got the flamethrower.
But anyway, as I would say, actually, that E3 was kind of huge for Sony. E3 2015 was a roller coaster. It was a terrible year for Nintendo and a good year for Sony.
No, it wasn't, because a lot of those games are bullshit. A lot of those games are vaporware. We're never going to see them. You understand what I'm saying? Like, here's the thing, okay?
Well,
like,
they won. You gotta admit, they won the E3. So
no, they didn't. They didn't win shit. Listen, okay?
Sony basically failed E3 at that time because they lied.
The games
they
didn't show
swindled,
up, okay?
and they didn't even appear in any year near that time frame.
Okay, like here's the thing, okay? When I say someone wins, okay, did Sony make a ton of money off of the PS4? Not really, no. Like I think they turned a profit of like 20 million in the PlayStation division. That ain't shit. Not for a multi-billion-dollar company. A multi-billion-dollar company wipes their ass with $20 million. Have they been reporting, oh man, these PS VR games have sold gangbusters? Not a word. So who won? I mean, really, I'm going to tell you who won E3 2016. The company that showed us like hours of Zelda
gameplay,
Breath of the Wild footage, because that game came out, and guess what? It's fucking awesome.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
But,
and by the way, 2015, every game that they showed on the floor for Nintendo, they all are mostly released, as far as I know.
I know some people are going to get mad at me, but I don't care.
Actually, Jewel has a point. Only Horizon got released from that lineup, and The Last Guardian.
And what did the other release near that time frame that was supposed to be E3? Or the year supposed to follow it?
Was The Last Guardian worth the wait?
With how the creature is so terrible to listen to even the basic of commands?
Here's what I'll say about The Last Guardian. That game should have came out on the PS2. Well, I mean, it isn't. It was supposed to be The Last Guardian. The whole trilogy was the first one.
Be a PS2 exclusive.
Eco. The first game was Eco, then Shadows of the Colossus, and The Last Guardian. It's supposed to be the Eco trilogy, because basically Shadows of the Colossus is a prequel to Eco. The Last Guardian, I guess, is a sequel to Eco, like what happened after all that shit went down. Like it tells a coherent story. Like,
actually, what was Eco's story?
Well, Eco's story is that you play this kid who's been sacrificed to have something bad happen to you, and like you're basically like kidnapped and thrown into this castle, and your character winds up traveling through this castle, rescuing this girl who may or may not be a princess, because it's all in this. It uses the Simlish kind of gibberish language, so you don't know really what's going on. You just have to make inferences based on context clues. But basically, like, you wind up rescuing the girl, and in the castle, you're attacked by these shadow monsters who initially you have a stick and you can stun them, but you can't kill them. The girl can kill them, but like she's really fragile. Like if one of these shadow monsters touch her, it's game over. So like eventually you get a sword that can do a little bit more damage, and you can keep her safe. Where basically like you stun the enemies with the sword, she can kill them, and like you're trying to get her out of the castle. And then by the end, you basically like your character's healed and he loses his horns, and you and the girl go off into the sunset or some junk like that. Like it's a very kind of experimental type of storytelling. It's not very clear about what's going on in Eco. Shadow of the Colossus is way easier to understand what's going on. You get what I'm saying?
You're trying to wake up a girl of sleep, but you're getting cons to kill 12 people that are basically innocent.
Basically, you got to kill these 12 giant titanic colossus creatures that, essentially speaking, they're keeping this evil at bay just by existing. And by you killing them, you're giving this mysterious creature that said, I can resurrect your girlfriend if you kill these colossi. But by doing that, you free this ancient evil creature that resurrects your girlfriend, but also tries to take over your body. But due to like your girlfriend saving you, she basically messes up the ritual so that instead of it taking over your body, your character turns into a little baby with horns.
Talk about the ultimate blues.
Which is a prequel to Eco, apparently.
Yeah, which is basically that little kid is the ancestor of the kid from Eco. So like Colossus is a prequel to Eco.
So how does
The Last Guardian?
Yeah,
I have no idea. I haven't played the game. I've seen the game played, and I'm watching, and I'm like, this game would have been great had it come out for the PS2 because the hype would have still been on. But I mean, it's been like the game had been in delayed for over 10 years. So I mean, what game do you know has been delayed over 10 years and is still viable?
Dude Nukem Forever.
Does that count?
You're so funny, dude. You have such a sense of humor.
Well, no, I have a legitimate answer. Final Fantasy 15.
No.
No, that game was I love
Yeah.
that game. Like,
I'm sorry,
okay,
but
won't
I
say
can't call
nothing.
that Final Fantasy. I can't
That's
call
not a Final Fantasy
a
game.
RPG anymore with how
That is not,
how they
that's not a
went
Final
to
Fantasy game.
15
It-
and 13.
It's I'm offended that that game is not a Final Fantasy game, so I'm sorry. Nope. I'm
As I
sorry.
said, I don't want to call it a RPG anymore.
But I enjoyed the fuck out of that game.
Look,
You should be ashamed of yourself then.
I'm not disavowing your like of it. I'm saying that it is not a Final Fantasy game, which it isn't. It
Well,
really is
it
not
is.
a Final
Well,
Fantasy game.
well, it is true. Like, the game does not play, and almost had no element of a Final Fantasy game.
It literally has nothing to do with Final Fantasy, which, I mean, that doesn't really bother me, but I mean, it's like someone coming up to you and saying, here's a burger, right? Contrarian, it's
And
like
you're
someone
given
coming
a
and saying,
veggie
"Here's a
burger, aren't you?"
No. They say, here's a burger, and they come to you and it's like, okay, what's the burger? And they put down the plate, and instead of it being some type of protein, between ground meat protein between two buns, it's a slice of tomato, just tomato, and they're like, but this is a burger. You're like, no, this is not what I paid for. This is not what I wanted.
You know what would have been the ultimate troll for that kind of food? If it was a potato that is flavored like one.
But let's be honest. If that game would have been called the King's Journey or another title, it was not named Final Fantasy.
It would have been acceptable.
Actually, I would have preferred it.
The game good?
If they hadn't called it Final Fantasy, I probably would have been all right with it. Because I'm like, this shit, you know, they called it what it is. Because Final Fantasy 15 is not a Final Fantasy game. Like, it really isn't.
Supposedly Tetsuya Nomura wants to create his own Final Fantasy legacy. He wants to separate his Final Fantasy from.
He had a chance. It was called Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2 and 13-3. So no. No.
I'm gonna say this right off the bat. That guy, if he can't even bring Kingdom Hearts into something that's cohesive and understandable, what makes you think he could do Final Fantasy? He had
his chance. Okay? He had his chance and it did work out. So we're done. Like, we can't.
I have a doubt. Why was Hideo Sakaguchi fired from making a bad Final Fantasy movie, but Tetsuya Nomura made a terrible Final Fantasy game and didn't get punished?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, isn't it?
Very true.
That is the $1 million question. Why was Sakaguchi fired, but for Final Fantasy, the Spirits Within?
The Spirits Within.
But Tetsuya Nomura could be the executive producer of 3 shitty Final Fantasy and still be there. You know, you want to know why? Because that was during Sakaguchi was during the Square Enix days, and the Square Enix days were a different time.
Well, the Squaresoft days. because we're in the Square
the
Enix.
SquareSoft days, yeah. So you're talking about a completely different time period.
Oh, so maybe he got fired because there was like a company change and Sakaguchi was from the old guard.
I don't know about that because I mean, it's kind of like with Nintendo fire. Like with Nintendo fire, like you don't kill your golden goose, and like Nintendo's not gonna fire Shigeru Miyamoto because he's their golden goose, right? You don't fire your golden goose because that's stupid, you know.
But was Spiritweed doing that bad to fire, man? It was like,
Well, they spent a lot of money getting that game made, and it was not very good. I mean, that movie made, and it was not very good.
oh, the movie sucked. Like I can admit that. I saw the movie, but like God, for like fire your main director for a failed movie. It has nothing to do with the games.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, you know, we can all like I am neutral to Final Fantasy 13, but we can all admit that 13, like the trilogy itself, sucked ass.
It was
so
worse
bad,
than
it's a
that. It was
vortex.
terrible. It was an embarrassment.
It's a black hole.
It irrevocably damaged the Final Fantasy brand, in my opinion.
And because like I am neutral, like I don't hate 13, but I don't have strong feelings with it too. Like
I do. I hate Final Fantasy 13.
I've been with Final Fantasy ever since I played 7 and then rewound into 6, 4, and 1.
Yeah, I hate Final Fantasy 15. I hate Final Fantasy 15. I hate Final Fantasy 13. 13-2 felt like, hey, well, you know, we're unoriginal hacks. Why don't we rip off Chrono Trigger? It's like you didn't earn the right to rip off Chrono Trigger.
wait, was that Chrono Trigger the same story as Chrono Trigger?
It basically was Final Fantasy 13-2 was basically Chrono Trigger, but done badly. It was like the shitty version of Chrono Trigger.
Actually, Noah's story was kind of sad. The male protagonist from
I'm
a
sorry.
new future.
Are you serious with that story?
Yeah, it was sad that he was in that shitty game. That was the sad part.
Actually, the villain, you gotta admit, the villain was kind of a badass. Guy is
No.
valid.
No,
You ain't winning this.
no. Final Fantasy 13-2 is just a dumpster fire.
Trash.
It's dumpster fire, and it needs to go away forever.
And 13-3.
13-3 is Majora's Mask, but done badly.
Oh.
That's basically what it is. Because like basically you've got a set amount of time until you can do something, and until you can complete like a certain task or the world is over. And then when the world is over, the only thing that happens is you get to
Relive it all over again.
well, no, if it's game over, you just start all over from your last save. And I mean, it doesn't even have turn-based combat. It's not even really related to Final Fantasy. So I'm like, why are you calling this Final Fantasy when it's not?
As I said, the Final Fantasy RPG series is about ended because they just basically killed it.
They don't know how to make an RPG anymore.
The problem is Nomura even said on the Famitsu too he doesn't like turn-based combat.
So you know what? He can go fuck himself. And well, like here's the thing. And I'll say this because we've gone about 30 minutes over time, and then we can give our things. Tetsuya Nomura, his art style is okay, but as far as making games, I'm sorry, the Final Fantasy since he's taken over, aside from 12, are garbage. Okay, they're not good games. Okay, and here's the thing: it doesn't have to be straight up turn-based combat. Play Xenoblade Chronicles and Xenoblade, and probably the upcoming Xenoblade 2. Those games, I mean, they basically have the next generation of turn-based combat. I mean, you're attacking; things aren't stopping. But like things have cooldowns, so you can't spam stuff over and over and over again. That's what they should be doing instead of this. Oh we'll make it to an action game. No.
Let's
Stop
be
it.
honest. Nomura got that position because of Kingdom Hearts' success.
Basically.
His claim to fame is Kingdom Hearts.
And he effed that up.
If Kingdom Hearts wasn't a success, Final Fantasy would have been directed by a different director altogether.
Basically, yeah.
Because Kingdom Hearts got really, really, really popular during the PS2 days. It still is. Like, Kingdom Hearts has a really dedicated fan base.
Yeah, they have to be dedicated to be waiting 15 years for a game. And just keep on getting 0.5 upgrades. Hey man, this game
I
really
dropped Kingdom Hearts ever since they denied Nintendo for that, in a sense. And basically all we got was scraps like Chain of Memories and Dream Drop Distance.
Well, Dream Drop Distance was a cool game. I don't have a problem. Chain of Memory can go fuck itself.
As a card gamer, I disagree about that some.
I don't like for me personally, I just don't like I don't like Kingdom Hearts because it just was not what they promised, and what it became I don't like. And here's the thing, Tetsuya Nomura made that his baby, fine, but don't have that dude come over and break over Final Fantasy, because they're two completely different franchises and they're not the same. Like playing Final Fantasy 15, it plays like a slightly less whimsical version of Kingdom Hearts. Fine, but Final Fantasy was never supposed to be whimsical. I'm sorry, it's not that type of game, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Final Fantasy 13 killed the summons slowly. Final Fantasy 15 all out abolished them by making them.
I'll tell you what killed the summons. Final Fantasy 12, because those summons were garbage and useless. The summons were garbage and useless.
But hey, I like Final Fantasy 12. I can defend that game. Like, I really like it.
Final Fantasy 12 was the beginning of the end.
I used to know it was 10-2.
I mean the official beginning of the end, because 10-2 was the sneak peek.
I'd say it's 10-2 was Sakaguchi saying, "Fuck you guys." I swear that was his fucking guy's game. He's like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking, because 10-2 is the preview to the decline, and 12 is the show starting up.
Yeah, 10-2 was him basically saying, "You know what, guys, I'm done. I'm finished with your shit. I'm done." That's just FU game.
Actually, did Tetsuya Nomura make 12?
No, the guy who made Final Fantasy Tactics made 12.
So you're saying that Tetsuya Nomura's first Final Fantasy was
13? That's right. So now you know why I say Tetsuya Nomura is a fucking terrible. I mean, he's the absolute worst person you could get to run Final Fantasy. Is the dude who has utter disdain for what Final Fantasy is. That makes no sense.
Why did they keep him for 15 after what he did in 13?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I don't know. I mean, I don't own a company.
Supposedly 13 is one of the few Final Fantasy games that are hated in Japan. And Japan are really open-minded with Final Fantasy.
They will let Final Fantasy get away with murder. Like, Final Fantasy gets busted into their house. Kill their grandma, people, and they'll be like, "Yeah, it's Final Fantasy."
When I say Japan, what people think in Japan, believe me, I hang out in various places where I meet Japanese players. Final Fantasy 13 is hated in Japan like hell. Even like here, and I was like, you had to fuck up to get Japanese to hate a Final Fantasy game.
Of course they hate Final Fantasy.
I would be surprised if 15 is hated there too.
Final Fantasy 13 is not a good game. People need to understand this. Final Fantasy 13 is not like I remember Tetsuya Nomura was like, "Yeah, man, Lightning's really popular. I'm like, who the fuck are you talking to? I know Japanese people. They fucking hate it.
I was gonna say the only people that might like Lightning are people that are in the U.S. that have yet to grow.
No, there are even people in the U.S. who don't like Lightning. Lightning is not a good character.
I said people in the U.S. who have yet to grow, meaning that they're small.
Lightning is insipid. She's annoying. She has very little she has very little development as a primary character. I mean, she's the antithesis of what you want a protagonist to be.
Actually, I always found Lightning like a more annoying, worse written version of Squall.
Really? For me, Lightning was always basically like Lightning was essentially for me she was like a bootleg Chrono, except not nearly as interesting. Even though Chrono, when you really get down to it, is not an interesting character. It's the people around him.
Have more personality than Lightning.
The people around Chrono are interesting.
I know what Lightning is. I know what Lightning is. Lightning is an unofficial Love Hina character made for Final Fantasy. Have you guys seen Love Hina?
I've heard of it. It's not one of my favorite animes.
It's full of really badly written tsundere female characters. And Lightning is just that, a really irritating tsundere that treats everyone like shit. You guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
But so I think I hate Lightning so much as a character.
Fair enough.
Especially when there's some people that try so hard to help her and she just punches them and treats them like shit.
Well, the problem with Lightning is that she has no she's not a particularly likable protagonist. She's not likable. She's not you can't really relate to her as a character, and even the story of Final Fantasy 13 isn't that good.
Like I said to in a podcast in my group, Squall. I was using Squall, but it's almost the same type as Lightning. Squall, not even emo kids can relate to Squall. Squall is a blend of this insufferable asshole / emo character.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the thing. At least Final Fantasy VIII had some cool mechanics, and some other characters you could kind of get behind, like the villain. Your rival, Squall's rival, I forgot the dude's name, but he was kind of interesting.
Setzer, I think he was.
Yeah, he was kind of interesting. Like, at least Final Fantasy VIII had something redeeming, but
I never finished what I was going to say. Like, sorry about that. And then one of the guys in the group said Lightning is like a Japanese SJW type character.
Yeah, but that's insulting.
And I said no. Not even the most hardcore and most annoying of feminists cannot relate to Lightning.
Yeah, but I mean, she's not even that. Like she's just not a very good. She's not a well-made character.
You know the sad thing. The first character reveal for the CD arcade was. You guessed it, Lightning and Cloud.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah. I'm not getting that arcade machine.
And I was like, who wanted to see Lightning in that game? Like, I wanted to see BB. I wanted to see, like, other characters.
They're trying so hard to push Lightning.
Dude, the Lightning trailer got tons of dislike in the Japanese YouTube.
No one. Look, I don't know when Tetsuya Nomura will just figure out people don't like. You
gotta understand him. It's his first Final Fantasy character. It's like
no one cares. Look, listen. Okay, in business, you don't have time for ego projects. Okay, if something isn't working, you don't go with it. But the man is an idiot. I mean, mean, that's why he keeps on trying to push. I want to make Final Fantasy something different. Fuck what you think. What you think about. Look, you're trying to take something. Someone come up and say, I'm gonna bake a cake, but it's not gonna have eggs, flour, frosting.
That's a terrible recipe.
That's not a cake.
I imagine him saying this. I'm going to make Lightning popular one day. I will. I'm going to push her so hard, people will like her. Like,
look, he can do that shit on his own time, but stop running and doing it on my with one of my favorite franchises.
Remember Final Fantasy Explorers after Cloud? Who was the other character announced? Lightning.
Yeah, I'm done.
Boo.
I was like, whoa, Square, like, you're not even hiding your bias anymore.
And the sad thing is, I don't even like Lightning, but I digress. Everyone, let's pimp out what they want to pimp out, so we can wrap things up. Talk about what we're gonna do next week. Upcoming stuff, and then we can wrap things up this Sunday nights, whatever.
Can I do my sign out first?
Go ahead.
Sure.
I'm the contrarian bastard, and all I'm going to say is one thing and one thing only: fuck the gaming community.
Okay. Who wants to go next?
Can I ask you about Nico? And I won't be at the. If anybody's doing a pre-E3 show next week, I won't be there. I'll be at work. I'll be making money instead of watching EA's press conference. Yeah.
Actually, my friend's going to cut the work to see E3. My real life best friend.
You need You need to grab your real life best friend and bitch slap him across the face. And what's wrong with you?
So he's going to take 6 days to watch E3. Like,
man, I wouldn't take a sick day to watch E3 if I really was sick. I'd be like, nah, man, you're projectile vomiting. Fuck that. I'm not watching E3.
Yeah, but
there's no point anymore.
He is hype. He is hyped for both the Sony and Nintendo conference. So.
Like I said, man,
Nintendo only. Sony bulls cheaps.
You need to grab your friend around the shoulders and like shake him and bitch slap him across the face. What's wrong with you?
I will watch Batman and Robin before I watch E3.
Actually, I rather watch.
The record be straight.
I actually rather watch Batman vs Superman while on a laptop while watching Batman vs Superman, watching a marathon of Teen Titan Go.
Let me put it this way. This is how much I don't want to watch Sony's press conference at this year's E3. I would rather be strapped down to a chair, Clockwork Orange style, and be forced to watch Batman v Superman on loop.
Oh my god,
long.
dude, that is torture.
with no bathroom breaks, then watch a Sony's press conference at E3 this year. Because
Sony press conferences are so boring. I mean,
they put you to sleep.
Last year was kind of interesting with the orchestra. I kind of like that, but what with the
and half those games wind up getting
they don't care about video games
getting canceled. It's bullshit.
I was about to say it's either canceled or it's underperforming.
Mr. Refa, you traumatized me with that imagery. The thought of seeing
being forced to watch Batman v Superman all day long.
The thought of watching Batman v Superman all day long, I'd rather bite my tongue and kill myself than watch Batman v Superman all day long.
Yeah, I hate that movie. I'm sorry. Like,
I completely.
If Dr. Feelgood was here, he'd be like, "No, that movie was awesome." Like, no. Look, as a matter of fact, I mean, I'm sorry, and I said this before on Dr. Feelgood's thing, but I'm sorry Zack Snyder's daughter died. My heart goes out to the family, but I never want to see another DC movie directed by Zack Snyder ever again as long as I live.
Yeah,
Please, God, no. No more. No more. No more. No more Snyderverse. Please, Jesus God, no.
Zack Snyder's like DC Comics Michael Bay.
No, he's a DC Comics Tetsuya Nomura. He's someone who doesn't have any respect for the source material or what it is. He's going to put his own shitty vision on what it is. And it sucks. Because it took five movies. It took the fifth try for them to get a movie that actually people like. And that's Wonder Woman. And here's a hint. The other four, two of them are made by Zack Snyder, and the other two are heavily influenced by Zack Snyder's vision. Think about that.
Which is scary.
Yeah.
The chick is. I guess my only problem with the Wonder Woman movie is the chick that really doesn't look like Wonder Woman.
Yeah. That's my one gripe is that Gal Gadot looks nothing like Wonder Woman. Like, literally. First of all, she's too damn short to play because Wonder Woman's an Amazon. She's like 6'3". Now I don't know how they'd find a 6'3" woman, but
I guess they could, CGI, use some like practical effects.
Or they could get a woman who plays one of those female tennis players. A lot of them are really tall and curvy.
Yeah.
They have the muscle build to pull off. That woman's an Amazon.
Or someone, you could get like somebody to do like voiceover.
Well, not only that, if they, because the whole thing about Wonder Woman is that she has to be kind of tall and kind of have that commanding presence, and
the other actors have to be short.
Well, if you get a woman that's like 6'1" and give her some heels, she'll be and give her some relatively short co-stars or like halfway decent. She'll tower over them. She can totally be Wonder Woman. And I know what some people say. What about Linda Carter? Look, man, that was the 70s. That's the best look, man. I'm going to keep it real. When I saw the trailer for Wonder Woman at the movie theaters, the whole time all that shitty Hans Zimmer music was playing, I was thinking of the 70s theme for Wonder Woman, and it actually sounds better with the 70s theme. Sorry, I'm old school like that.
You know, Mr. Redfall, the Batman v Superman was so bad for me that I literally started paying attention to my cell phone on the to check what hour was it, because I was just so desperate for the fucking movie to win at one point.
Yeah, you think that's bad? My friend tricked me into watching it like twice. No, he tricked me into watching it once.
That's what I felt about Cloud Atlas. It's like, what in the hell is this movie gonna freaking end?
Yeah, but Cloud Atlas, Cloud Atlas was so bad it was good. Because there's a part in that movie where Tom Hanks just throws a guy out of a window and kills him. It's like, what the fuck, Tom Hanks? Because normally Tom Hanks plays good guys, but not in this movie. He just straight up murders a guy because the dude was talking shit to him. Any movie that has Tom Hanks just throw a guy out of a window.
You know, the sad thing is, I got like kind of the real life friend I talking about, the 143. He was the one that was saying, "Oh, come on, dude, give this movie a chance. It's going to be awesome." I was like, "Oh no, the trailer doesn't convince me, dude. I just don't want to participate in that. Oh, come on, don't be a party pooper. I'm going to buy you the tickets, so you don't have to complain. Come." And I was like, well, okay, you're going to pay. And when I was in the movie, I said, you know what? It was better that you paid me the ticket, because I was going to fucking hit you in the face of how bad this movie was if I had to pay with my own money.
You're late to the party.
You want to know what ruined Batman v Superman for me?
Oh man, that was a shitty movie, man.
Shit! You're alive!
Oh my god, we were just talking about you earlier in this podcast. We're like, where'd Metalhead go? And there you are.
I missed the fuck out of you, Metal.
Yeah, he would give you the virtual bro hug, but I tell you what, let's wrap this up and then we'll talk about it after the cast.
Good idea.
So Shadow's here. I know he's got stuff to do. Shadow, you give your sign off, and you can go do what you got to do, man.
You know, life is whatever. It has no chill. So it's Shadow Fox Z, Shadow Fox Prime, Shadow Fox Infinite, Shadow Fox 512, Shadow Fox Infinity. Do you play games to have fun to impress other people? If it's to impress other people, you got a serious problem.
Yeah, Shadow Fox just listed some of his DC Universe alternate versions of himself.
Yes.
That will also kick your ass. and who wants to go next?
That'll be me.
All right.
This is Triple Y, and I'll say goodbye to all you.
All right. Metalhead got here late, but go ahead, man. Get in there.
Well, I'm really, really late, but Metalhead is fucked.
Oh, that's good. And lastly, Mr. Kanoshi Abominito, who literally the only way he'd watch E3 this year is if you paid him to stay home and watch it.
Exactly. Yep. That's how I feel about E3 now. That's what I'm at. You would have to pay me to stay home and watch it. Sure, E3. Really.
Now it's my turn to sign off. I'm going to do another sign off because we brought the topic anyway. This is the Contrarian Bastard and fuck Batman vs Superman. That movie should be illegally banned just as much as cocaine. Nobody should deserve the torture of sitting through that movie.
But here's the problem: cocaine in moderate doses is fun. Batman v Superman, even in moderate doses, is not fun. And lastly but not leastly, that's me, Mr. Red Fox. This one kind of went over time, but hey, I like when BS Busters get spontaneous and some awesome shit happens. And with that being said, I bid you guys a good night. Play your game, enjoy your game. I might do something next week for pre-E3, maybe, but it's just going to be us clowning E3. So if you want to hear us clowning E3,
actually, I am hyped. Unlike all you guys, I am hyped for this Nintendo E3. I think it's going to change the face of the world, the face of the earth.
Look, unless they find the cure for climate change and pollution, then
I'm not hyped for any of it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not hyped for a single damn thing about E3.
Look, unless Nintendo comes out and says, "Hey guys, all those virtual console purchases you made on your Wii, your Wii U, and your 3DS, we're tying them all into your account, and they're on the Switch." That's the only thing you can tell me it's going to be.
You know what? I might take a nap during Nintendo's live press event and watch it later.
Yeah, that's what I do. I never watch that shit live. I don't know why people I'm
going to watch the whole thing live, and if my internet gives me problem and I can't watch it live, I promise myself I'm going to amputate my testicle.
Okay, and with that, good night.